Welcome to the Troy Kearns podcast. We discuss real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and business to help you retire and become financially free. Make sure you share this podcast with someone who could benefit from it and leave us a 5-star review. It truly helps me out. This show will mentor you towards financial freedom. If I can do it, so can you.
Welcome to the Troy Kearns podcast. Today I've got two very special guests. I've got Josh Clark, the future Alyssa Clark, here on this show. Josh is one of my first students. Alyssa has been his longtime 9-year girlfriend, future baby mama. Hey, I figured let's start off there. We're having a good time, right?
Start off throwing some things out there.
How'd you guys meet?
Oh man, it's a story that sounds made up every time we tell it. But I'll let her tell it real quick because it's amazing.
Yeah. So we met at a bar.
That's right.
We were outside on the patio, and out of my peripheral across the patio, I see a man dancing by himself in a 3-piece suit, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, "You're gonna have to give me a minute." And I just start sprinting.
Really?
Yeah, I run across the bar patio and jump on him. And he catches me straddling. And then
it's scary. I just see some charging at me at a bar. Normally it's like I'm about to get hit or something. Yeah. I turn.
Hit me, baby.
I turn and I catch her. Yeah.
And he said, "Well, hello, little lady." And I said, "Well, hello, sir." And we danced the night away.
Yeah.
So what made you sprint over to him?
I might have had a lot of alcohol in my system, but something caught my eye. And
she usually says my striking good looks. No,
that's what I was thinking she was gonna say.
I mean, you threw a layup question out there for her, and she goes, "I was drunk."
I was thinking you might say, he caught your attention.
Yeah, it was love at first sight, obviously.
Wait, okay. So his magnanimous personality, his charming good looks, you saw all that right away. So you ran over there to him. Mm-hmm. And how you guys danced the whole night?
Yeah, the whole night. Really. Probably into the morning.
Oh, yeah, it was way into the morning.
And here's the cool thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but Alyssa, you guys work like toe to toe, right?
Yeah. She gets out and helps me with everything.
Right. You guys did our cabinet install in Florida. You door knocked foreclosures.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your guys' real estate journey together.
Yeah. I mean, I started off before she did. She had her own business with like a pet store, pet supplies and stuff like that. And, I was full on real estate. And a year and a half ago or whatever, she started the business in the height of COVID and everything. So it was just hard to really get stuff going. And then whenever, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah. So I had my business for a few years. I just, I made some mistakes. I was really young, early 20s, and, COVID really kind of messed things up, and, really just started thinking about our future more and what's going to help us more as a couple instead of, me just trying to fulfill my dreams and him doing his stuff. And so, it just kind of got to a point where I was like, well, if you want to, I'm, ready to close this down and we can consolidate our efforts.
There was one thing that you came to the mastermind.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's what it was. She came to the mastermind.
That's cool, though.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
Two masterminds ago, I still have my business, and, we were talking to some of the, speakers and trying to be pointers on how to help elevate my business. And I was like, I don't know if it's worth it at this point to put in that much effort to try to grow it from, not such a good place.
Yeah.
Or, really just focus in and both of us do real estate together because, consolidating our efforts, like I said, but then also just being able to grow faster and, focus on, our future and, our family and, work together towards a common goal.
Well, he saw that from day one because the number one thing when he interviewed me, I would say, is he brought you up before, he even joined the program. He said,
Alyssa. She was on the first call.
Yeah. And so he was kept saying, Alyssa. And I don't think I saw you in the background until we called you at my house, right?
Oh yeah. That's right.
But he did bring that up, and it was always something. So it seems like once you came to the mastermind, you saw that maybe what he was trying to communicate to you.
Yeah.
It always helps whenever like someone else says it.
Oh yeah,
you know.
totally. Because if your significant other says it, it's like, yeah, whatever. You talk all the time.
Yeah.
And then somebody else is like, oh yeah, Josh doing great over here. You're like, the hell?
Well, no, I knew he was doing great. And I mean, I've always been super proud of his work ethic. People get mad when I say it but he's the hardest working man I've ever met in my life. And
You've met me.
well, I know. I know, but like people get upset when I say it, but you know, it's true. It's how I feel. And,
that's a good quality to have in someone, right? Like, because there's so many people out there, and I do agree that Josh is the second hardest working man that I've ever met in my life. And you know, but it is true, because that's like a forgotten skill set. I mean, our generation, I told my kid the other day, Conrad, I was making him do some just chores, and he's freaking saying it's not fair and crying. I said, I put him in the corner real quick. I said, you want to know how I grew up? I said, you are so spoiled, you don't even know it. I said, I'm so afraid for you that you're not going to have what I've got, which is a dog in me. I just don't think you got it. And I told him I seen it on the basketball court. I seen it here, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I want my son to have that desire, like that your dad taught you, right. Because yours came from your dad. And I'm worried as a father, like, how do I get that in him? You know what I mean? I'm demonstrating it, but it's right. Like it's. So I think that what you saw in him is what so many people want to see in other people, is like, and the same thing that I believe he sees in you, because you're right there along with him, working your ass off, like that. Let me tell you something. The first time that I knew Eden was the one for me was we were doing a house, and it was a fourplex that I had bought early in my career and in investing, and they had a free neighborhood clean out, Alyssa. And I was like, oh, I had to put a couple tenants that got evicted. I'm going to use this to trash out my houses, because they had dumpsters provided and everything. And we're getting rid of eyelashes, diaper shit, and she's hauling this out with me. I called my buddy. I remember walking to the side. I called Travis. I said, she's the one. Because I was like, the other girls I dated wanted to put on nails to go to the football games and make it all. And I was like, if they're not willing to get dirty in the trenches with me, and that's what I see with you. So I think you guys have a lot going on. And I've seen Josh soften up so much in the last 3 years. Like,
talking about.
Oh, am I wrong?
No.
I mean, if I'm wrong, call me to the table. No. I think it's a good thing, though. But you know what I mean? It takes a long time to like build a relationship. But when you're building something together with someone, it's much better, because you get to share that. When you're doing it all on your own, like when you guys do cabinets together, it's like you guys are working as a team.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it on your own, you're like, hell, look at what the hell I did. But when you do it together, like when Eden and I built our house together, I was like, hey, look what we did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's definitely nice now that we've teamed up. I mean, because, you know, from the very beginning, like I was always too hands-on in the business, and I still am. Yeah. But now she's able to do so many of the things that I never allowed myself the time to do. A lot of the back end stuff, you know, and everything. And now we're taking down new. We're reaching into new, like, I can't think of the word.
She's a killer.
Yeah. But
she went and got
different aspects of real estate. We're reaching out into that, you know, getting involved in foreclosures and everything, and you know, so like.
Well, she's good at what you're not.
Yeah.
She is gonna go take the time to go drive for dollars, to go knock on foreclosures.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that.
No, I don't have time for it. Yeah, that and she. Let me tell you. I mean, she was nervous.
Oh.
I remember the first time we had left one house, and I saw some people probably work on a house or something. Like, it's like, jump out and go ask them if they want to sell the house or something. She was like, what do I say to them? I don't know. And then she just ran up there and she's like, oh, that wasn't too bad, you know.
Yeah.
And then and even, you know, now, I mean, like I said, now she is like, you preached for us so long, like foreclosures, and I knew how to do it.
2.5 years.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I knew the whole process. I just never took the time to do it. Yeah. And so now, you know, they taught her the process, and now she gets out, and like I said, she was timid to go up the doors and knock them at first, but then.
Yeah, the first couple times I just like would leave notes on the door.
But are you pretty shy normally? Or is it just
Yes
when you're not?
and no.
Is it just when you're not good at something, or feel like you're not good at something?
Usually when I'm not good at something or when something's new or.
I think that's everybody though.
Yeah. Yeah, once I get comfortable with something, I mean, then it's.
So
I mean,
now knocking
the
the door-
nervousness goes away.
The knock on the door is no big deal now.
Yeah, it's really not a big deal. I mean, there's sometimes, I get a little nervous, if there's, big guys yelling at me when he's opening the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's been screamed at, called every name in the book, and then I'm sitting in the background sometime, I'm hearing her talk to the people on the phone, I'm like, she's explaining the process, I'm like, is that how it's done? I don't know. So she's
good.
like, this, like, wow, okay, I mean, I believe you.
Hey, fake it till you make it. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
So you guys, okay, you started with one rental property, $30,000. Where are you guys at today?
We have
10?
10. Yeah, we kind of fluctuate up and down a little bit. So
10 rental properties. What's the total net worth?
last we checked, it was like 1.5 in equity, something like that. And
1.5 in equity, going from $30,000.
Correct.
Are you starting to get your now? You guys are also buying your second home.
Correct.
What's the plan there?
We plan on moving from Louisville, Kentucky down to St. Pete, Florida. So yeah, we're in the middle of rehabbing that project. And then kind of going on what you're saying, like, yeah, I mean, I started out doing like one, maybe two projects a year, like when I first joined, and like currently got like 5 projects going on at once, and then also doing contracting, commercial and residential projects on the side. The commercial job you help me with the bidding on, make sure I got
break that down just so everybody knows. I don't think it's a bad thing, but sometimes we talk about people who overvalue their stuff, and then some people that undervalue their stuff.
Yeah.
Because people always tell me, you get what you pay for, and I'm like, bullshit, you do.
Right.
Because some people think they're really good and they suck. And then some people just give you a good price and they could charge a lot more compared to everybody else. And so when you want to explain kind of what was going on?
Yeah, basically, I mean, a friend of mine is a manager at a hotel, and his boss, they own like 12 different hotels, and he reached out to me to remodeling the lobby of one of them, and I was nervous about taking it down a commercial job like that. I'd never done it. I mean, it was a bunch of laminate work. I mean, I've done it all, but I wasn't set up for it anymore, and so I asked for you some guidance on the numbers to throw out to them, and I was instantly, you were like, that's too little, and basically it told me to tack on another 10,000, and they had a little pushback on it, but
of course, would they have pushback if you put it on the same price? They probably would have pushback on that.
Yeah. So I mean, the way it worked out, I mean, we ended up doing a little bit of the work that I wasn't supposed to. I mean, because one of the contractors backed out, so I just jumped. We jumped in together and knocked out the first part of it, and then I mean, it was great profit. I mean, so
made good money, picked up a new skill set, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're super happy. I mean, it really turned out amazing. I mean, it turned out really nice, and as soon as we got done, he was like, "Man, we got." I guess, 11 other hotels, so we'll be calling you for sure.
My price just went up. Well, that's the same thing with like some guys who are super talented. Danny, you guys don't believe in half the shit that you're good at. Like, I'll be like, Danny's like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, you can do the granite, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, unless we find somebody else, or you could do the plumbing. Like, because you were talking about the plumbing. I'm like, couldn't you do that?
I know. Yeah.
So, like, it's like, sometimes you got to be talked into how good you are, right?
Oh yeah. All the time.
All the time.
Really?
Yeah. I try to tell them all, like, every day. Try to boost them up a little bit.
You have to with us guys. You know that.
I know.
That's your number one job is. Well, there's 3. I won't say all 3. I'll say 2. Number 1 is boost our ego.
Yeah.
Number 2 are keep our bellies fed, and I think you can figure out number 3.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what every man. I think we're pretty simple creatures. We don't require, like, I think women are a little bit more complicated.
Let me
right?
say, I get 3 home cooked meals a day. So
really, you never see a bigger smile come on his face. The Zoom call, you see like this big BO coming from us. Like, hot dog.
All of our coaching calls are right at my dinner time, so I'm like, coming over, you always see some steam coming up in my camera, trying to sneak food in.
What's his favorite meal?
I don't think I really have one.
I don't think really
she throws together some stuff all the time. I mean, it's always like, I don't even know how she thought to put these flavors together and that. So, I mean, they're very rarely, every now and then I got to say, nah, maybe not this so much. And she used to get butthurt if I had said anything about the food. Like she'll make it and then, I haven't even taken a bite yet. She's like, how is it?
I'm like peeking around.
She's just like
is
staring at me. Okay? Like, can you not stare at me while I eat? But she's just hoping I like it so much,
That's funny too, because Eden wasn't a good cook when we met, and she just started experimenting a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's good. And then sometimes I just like, she's like, how is it? I'm like, let's do something else next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that like you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings because you want that thing to keep going.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I think there's nothing better, and economically wise, if you go out to dinner all the time, you are blowing your money. I hate going out to dinner.
Yeah.
And it takes so long.
Yeah. And it's not as good.
No,
it's never as
Every
good.
time he's like,
every time we try to have like a cheat meal, like, yeah, I'm like, let's have a cheat day or something. And every time we order it, it's just,
you know where my cheat meal is going to be?
Worth it. That wasn't worth it. We should have just
Whataburger. Like that. I'm not looking to go and be like, hey, sit down here and have a nice steak. I'm gonna be like, where can I get the fastest, quickest burger?
I guess we do love Jaggers. I don't know if is that nationwide or not. I don't know. Man,
maybe, I don't know. But it's a burger place, and that's
Well, it's got me hungry.
Do you cook a good burger?
I do cook. I figured out I like smash burgers, so like I figured out how to do a good smash burger on the flat top at home.
Yeah. Can you do it on the road?
I mean, you got a flat top. I'll do it. Yeah.
All right. So, what's next for you guys?
So I mean, it's going to be the move to Florida. Like that's the next big thing, and then
rebuilding.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
So, you're a lifelong Kentuckian, right?
Yeah.
Are you pretty much a lifelong? No, you're from.
No.
You're like traveling wheelbarrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've lived a lot of different places.
So for you, it's no big deal to pick up and move.
Nope.
But somebody like you're kind of like all my friends who grew up in Washington State, still in Washington State. It's like, right. And you're not 25 anymore. You're like 35, and
yeah, I wish 35.
So for you, this is kind of a big move because there's a lot of like I remember when I left Seattle at 28, which I said if I don't leave now, I'm never gonna leave.
Yeah.
And Seattle's like rains all the time, looks like today, but on that day, like the skies parted,
yeah.
God came out, and I'm driving across the I-90 bridge, which is a floating bridge, and I'm looking, and it's so beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. Mount Rainier's peeking out over there.
Right.
And I'm like, am I making the right move? And I think that the bottom line, I can tell you this from experience, is every single time I've moved, it's been the right move. Because you get comfortable where you're at.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be hard for me because, like you said, I've never moved. I moved around in the city, but never away. Plus, all my family is in Louisville, Kentucky. None of us have ever moved away. And then the other.
Who's your family?
Do what?
Who's your family?
I have 3 sisters.
Okay.
My mom and dad, and a buttload of nieces and nephews.
Right.
So
you travel pretty good, right?
Oh yeah.
Someone's got to lead the way.
I know, and that's. But the other big thing, like talking about nerves, is we just had probably one of our best years. Like, it was the first year she was working with me. Everything's clicking. We're like, everything's
mix it up now.
Everything's going great. Now let's up and move.
But can't you snowbird? Can't you plan your life so where you're like just not ripping the Band-Aid off 100%, where you're like, hey, we're going to spend this time in Florida, establish ourselves here, and then I'll take jobs, but I'll plan them out so I'm not running to them. I'll schedule my time so that like, hey, because Florida's rainy season's coming up in pretty close, and maybe you could do it like that. I don't think you have to
plan. Because, that's one reason we kind of picked St. Pete, Tampa area. We're like 25 minutes away from 2 airports that have direct flights to Louisville, cheap flights. So it's going to be easy for me to jump back and forth if I need to. Yeah. And that's the plan, is still to, because I know the Louisville market really well.
Yeah.
And so we plan on still doing a bunch of flips and rentals there.
Do you have a team established now where you don't have to be the one guy doing it all?
I have one guy. He's pretty good. He's very willing to work. I gotta watch over him some, but he's learning a lot.
So maybe this will force you to do all of that stuff. Like I have an established team in Mississippi where I don't ever need to go there. I go there because I like Mississippi like once or twice a year. But Brian, have you met Brian before?
I don't think I can't remember if we.
You got to meet Brian. Like him and I have built such a good relationship. He was my contractor on a painter contract. We were eyeing each other like, you know how he's like this cheap motherfucker right here. In 2011, he's met him before, and I'm like, you know. And then after we got to, at first he hit me up, he's like, "Can I borrow some money?" And I was like, "I don't know." I'm like, "No," you know. And I'm like, not that big of a guy at that point in time. And then, you know, he's like, "Hey, I'd like to start flipping with you." He's not afraid to ask for it. He's like, I was like, "All right, well, I'll give you 10%. And he's like, "Well, what if I find them?" I was like, "I'll give you 20%. I was like, "We can buy as many as you want." And then I let him go on that. And I was like, "I don't think these are good deals right here, but I'll do them." And then we got stuck on a few. And so he's like, and so then I had to give him a little. Danny's heard me go off on a few people. I had to give him a little of the Maynard conversation yesterday. And I was like, "Listen, we do it my way, and then it'll go right." Now I don't have to say that anymore because he's doing it my way without me having to think about it. But if you can establish that where you get someone to take a little bit of the action, so they're not just the guy, and you're still paying them.
Right. That's the plan with this guy. I mean, the biggest thing with him is I completely trust him. I mean, he's never calling me, "Oh, I got to pay my guys. Oh, I got to do this." I mean,
that's the trust.
I mean, he has my Home Depot card. We watch everything still. But I mean, just last time, I mean, he racked up 4 different jobs. Didn't ask me for payment on 4 different jobs. It was like $22,000 worth of work, and finally it was like, "Hey, here's the invoices for these." So he trusts that I'm going to pay him, and he's not chasing the money.
I would suggest you leading him with like the same thing I had with Brian and saying, "Hey, I want to keep operating here in Louisville. I trust you implicitly, and I'd like to give you a piece of the action if you're able to operate these jobs without my attention, just through FaceTime and all those other things." Because Brian still will do that with me. He'll send me a video. "What do you think here?" But if you can groom him that way, then you can probably go faster in that market.
Right.
And I mean, I'm going faster in Mississippi than I've ever gone.
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I probably will do 30 or 40 flips in Mississippi this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Wow. Because I just hammered out. I've got like 4 right now that are already done and on the market, and I just put out like 20 offers.
Wow.
And I've got like 3 or 4 accepted right now. And I told them, because we got crushed on a few deals, and I was like, now I'm swinging again. Now my money's starting to get right. Remember I told you where I was at?
Oh yeah.
Now my money's back up again. I'm like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah.
So
I think that will be like play into like the next step. What you're talking about is building that relationship with him, because I do plan on. I think moving to Florida is going to force me to do that, because I do want to take a little bit time away for myself. Like that's part of the big plan. Or
I think
not for
about
myself, but for us is what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that I picked up what you were saying there, because that's what I heard. But that's what I was saying. Alyssa's got that youthful spirit with her. Like she's like the dinghy, the boat. She makes you kind of want to go be a kid again.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. So to transition, so what's next for you guys? Are you guys going to start a family?
Yeah, we finally talked about that. You wrote me about that every chance you got.
Well, here's what I did. Let me just tell you what I did. I'm going to tell you what you don't want to hear, which is like you got a real good woman by your side, and don't lose her. Because what happens is us guys, when we've had, like for me, I can speak to my self-experience. Like I've had bad relationships, and we use all those bad relationships in the past. And we're like, and the person right here, we're like, "Okay, are you that person?" And it's like, okay, so I didn't want to see you lose something and then regret it. And so that's where I just was like, I'm going to say something because I don't really care what the hell you got to say. Anyways, I know you trust me. It's not, what do I got to gain? You're going to name your kid Troy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have anything to gain. I just want to, I consider you guys friends, and I would want to see you guys. I mean, I see you guys working together. I'm like, shit, man, you guys got a good couple, man.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say, like, I mean, when we first met, I felt like I was older. I was like past it. I was good without having them, but I mean, she's wore me down in a good way to where now, I mean,
she's fertile.
We finally are.
She's young and fertile, right? Like that's a lot of people. Travis and I just talked. His sister's past that point. A lot of women get past that point.
Yeah.
I don't mean to say it like that, but
well, no, I mean that was like majorly on her mind. I mean, it was coming up a lot more, and so finally. I mean, we are trying for one right now, so...
You might be the questionable guy. You might.
I know. I mean, maybe my stuff doesn't work. Who knows?
Yeah, everything can work these days. All you got to do is go into... fertility is pretty easy these days. We went to... Me and my wife both... Our kids were... She was 42 when we had our kids.
Yeah.
And so that was like a Hail Mary.
Right.
So if you need any... If you want to talk to Eden about any of that stuff, she's got you. But yeah, biggest thing you can do is... Here's what she did. She made me go show up at these appointments. The day before I had to do my donor thing, I sat in the hot tub for like 2 hours, and she goes,
"Is that supposed to be better? Get them all warmed up?"
No, it's supposed to like. I guess it's supposed
bad
to. I guess it's bad. She goes, "You sat in the hot tub for that long?" You know what I said? I go, "All right. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen." The lady's like, "You have like the highest sperm count ever." I was like, "That's right."
Yeah.
It was like 79 million. So yeah, you just can't be taking any sort of like TRT or anything that's gonna mess with that, and you'll be good. Yeah. And you just gotta procreate a lot more.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that sounds terrible.
Yeah. So I guess I mean that's the next big the moving, having a kid. We're gonna really be hitting the market down there, chasing foreclosures and.
So let's talk about the market down there. Because I made you uncomfortable enough, so I figured that.
I'm good now. I'm used to it.
Yeah, I had to hit it so many times. But speaking of which, question: what kind of a ring would you want?
Pretty simple. Yeah, I'm not like a big flashy kind of person.
Well, I've got one of the best jewelers out there. Like I've had so many people. Did you get your? Yeah. So I helped Danny get his ring. I helped my buddy Jared get his ring. And I got him from Jason. So if there's any ring that you want, I could probably connect Josh with that person.
Oh, she already knows.
Okay, I didn't know if that one came out.
I didn't know it was the same.
My phone rang like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, "Who's this guy?"
I was playing dumb, Josh.
Yeah, and then, I know you were, but I was like, she already knows. I mean. Yeah, your jeweler calls me and said that, you text him. He was like, "I figured it's kind of important, so I gave you a call right away." I forget what time it was in Hawaii. I was like, I didn't even know he told you. So
yeah, is Melissa happy with hers?
Oh, she loves it. And then I went and got her wedding band from him too after the engagement ring.
Yeah. So it like what I had told Josh to do is I said, find out whatever she wants. I know you're pretty simple. You want this. I was like, just because he's so inexpensive. Yeah. So you can get really something nice and then you don't have to break the bank because he's a wholesaler. So
yeah. I'm
looking forward to seeing it.
We'll see.
He's still holding out. Man. You just gotta, you know what? It's us guys are all the same, and I think that you guys, you already proved what a how Eden got me. I said I'm never getting married. This is what I said. Yeah. I said I'm never ever getting married ever with a fourth ever. And she goes, well, what about kids? I said I'd do that. And then once I had kids, I was like, well, I better get married.
Yeah.
That's how it worked out for me.
Right.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning into our podcast right now. I am so happy that you are here. You are in the right spot to be getting inspired by other people that have just achieved their goals so that you can achieve your goals. Do me a favor. Leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us grow. And give us comments and feedback. So we read those. It helps us grow. The most important person in this podcast is the listener, right? And so if you give us your feedback, it will allow us to create a better podcast for you. And make sure you enjoy the show and leave us a 5-star review. So St. Pete, tell me what the plan is there. Are you guys going to be staying there around? Or do you like Naples better? I know you kind of went back and forth a little bit.
So, I mean, I think he definitely likes Naples, better. But I think we're going to stay in St. Pete, for a little bit, spend some time there with the house, just get situated with Florida for a little bit.
Yeah.
I can learn the market there. since we've got Louisville established, be just making sure everything stays straight up there. And then I can focus more on, learning the market in St. Pete and focusing all my energy there. So we can grow and get flips. And
yeah, I think St. Pete's like really good because it's kind of like Louisville South, like a bunch of people call it that because we have a bunch of friends that have places in St. Pete, and actually probably 10 to 15 people that have moved from Louisville to Tampa and area. So we already have a built-in network there.
Yeah, I think that's the right
so
move.
like that's good for the transition. I mean, I think the goal is to live here 2 years, sell it, and move on down the coast.
So nothing's set in stone.
No.
I don't even know when we're moving.
Yeah, so I think what I would recommend is, from what I looked at the Louisville market, I think you can make a lot more money there than Naples right away flipping.
Right.
Because I feel like the prices are lower. You're dealing with a lot of properties that are going to be sitting there right now. I'd be double closing everything like I told you guys to do the other day. I could tell you that market is rock solid for picking up flips right now. Now, that being said, I think where your skill set is, you could be a luxury home builder in Naples. I mean, just like, and I know you want to get your contractor's license. I know you called a license in Louisville when you're just registered as a contractor. Yeah. But I was telling Danny the same thing. Danny wants to get his contractor's license in Massachusetts. And I was like, listen, man, I've got a contractor's license. We can put you on there. If you pass your Florida, then I'm licensed in Florida. I don't have to take the test.
Right.
And you're good at taking tests.
Oh, yeah. That's easy for me.
Because with Florida,
I love getting certificates and licenses and everything.
You were like that. You were like a Cub Scout with like the whole thing, right? But because you got Danny went and got his boating thing the other day, so you should check out getting your captain's license because Josh got it.
Yeah.
Was that easy?
I mean, it's just going through a course and then proving your time. So yeah, I mean, I have my master's, 100-ton offshore.
Because so I want to get a boat.
Mm-hmm.
So the other day, you'll see this video coming out. My buddy in Mississippi, who's a wholesaler, and he's like, "Hey, I bought a boat the other day," and he's like, "You want to check it out?" It's like, I got nothing going on that night, I'm in Mississippi by myself. I'm like, "Sure, let's go look at it." So I'm thinking he's just going to show me some regular boat. Well, he bought like a 1981 or 82 Espa, I think it was called, or I don't know. It's got 2 diesel engines.
Right.
And it's a massive thing, 47 foot.
Yep.
And I mean, this is something you could take to Costa Rica. And I'm like, how much did you pay for that? And he's like, $10,000. And I go, God dang. So I'm like, that thing's got to be worth $300,000-$400,000 fixed up. Because it's a fixer-upper.
Right.
And I'm like, so I keep trying to weasel my way in. I'm like, hey, man, you should just have me be part of this deal because I know it's going to take you a long time and I'll get it done faster.
Right.
And I do believe that. I'm not like he trusts me. I'm like, you're going to take forever deking around with this thing. He's already.
Some of those older boats beautiful. I mean, we were at the Fort Lauderdale boat show a couple of years ago. One of the boats that stood out to me the most, it was the 1980s, Fisher. And it was beautiful. And they were asking a mint for it.
I'm going to get a boat like that. And I'm going to restore it. And I need a captain.
Yeah. I can.
You feel comfortable? What do you got to know about being a captain to go down?
I mean, you just have to know. I mean, basically in the waterways. I mean, it's so different than being in lakes and rivers. The lakes and rivers, you're like, don't hit a log and don't hit the shore.
Yeah,
that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or don't hit other people. But I mean, there is that. I mean, yeah, being a captain, I mean, you're responsible for everyone's, all the souls on board and then, knowing the waterways. I mean, it really is knowing, I mean, there's so much shallow water. I mean, you really have to know where you can and can't go and how to read your charts and everything. So
tell me about that. How do you read a chart?
I mean, if most of the newer boats, if you have the electronics, I'm spoiled. Our boat, it had all the nice Garmin electronics, and I mean, it tells you right on. I mean, we had a big display, and it just all the little dots. It'll tell you if it's 1 foot deep, if it's clay, if the bottom's clay or rock or sand, and the depth of it and everything, and it's color coded too. So I mean, you see, I mean, there's there's buoys out there if you know how to read the buoys and all that. So man, there's a lot to know. I mean, whenever it's kind of
did you go through a class for that?
Yeah, you go through a course, and most of the stuff there, you almost will never use it again. I mean, unless because some of it is, if you're offshore, not offshore fishing, but I mean, if you're trolling, if you're, it's for some of the major shipping lanes. I mean, you learn what, container ship captains and everyone out in the open seas has to know. Like, you have to know all that, and you're going to use this much of it. So, it's, you learn a lot, and then it's just like anything, all captains have to pass the same course. I mean, you have to even learn how to chart, with your compass and protractor and everything, getting out there trying to chart your course on a map, manually.
Do you have to have a captain's license to captain your own boat, or just to do it for other people?
And it is weird. There are so many weird laws. Technically, you can't captain your own boat if you're doing a bareboat charter.
It's a bareboat charter.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of kinky.
Yeah, right. I know. Yeah, you can't even be on the boat. Like, if you own the boat, you can't even be on the boat if it's a charter. Now, I mean, doing a bareboat. Now, there's other ways around that and everything. There's and you have to know the laws, because there are two fines. It's like a $60,000 fine and a $120,000 fine. Those are your two fines. One of the two.
But can I drive my own boat? I don't need to be a captain.
No. You don't. It's just if you get paid, if there's a monetary exchange,
even
and you even have to, right? Like, I even have my captain's license. I have to really watch. Be like, yeah, we can go out on the boat. Just pay for the gas. Well, that's a monetary exchange now. Now I should have a contract and all this other stuff. And
so can you barter?
Man, it's weird. You really have to watch. There's a bunch of weird laws to it.
But you can make a lot of money being a captain too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Captains, like in New Orleans, a lot of the captains out there, because there's a lot of waterways out there, they're making $1 million a year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of boats will have a dedicated captain that they're on call, and that's the thing. Sometimes you're on call 24/7. Like, I mean, you might not. You're on a salary. You might go a month and never get called, but then he might call you Sunday at midnight, to come out, and now you're out, you're out there. So you've got to be ready all the time.
So I won't be getting my captain's license anytime soon. But it definitely is cool that you got yours. I just feel like when you got a captain, you feel like you got someone who's safe. That could take you out there. But I would want to learn how to drive my boat the right way. And I feel like one of the things I thought about doing was getting a sailing boat. But then I realized, I'm going to get someone with a motor. Yeah. Because if I get a sailing boat, I wanted to learn sailing to learn how to tie all the knots and stuff. I'm like, I'm too old to be doing that stuff right now. So I think I want to get a boat. I want to restore it, and I want to have it to where it could basically pay for itself, like an Airbnb type of thing, where it's able to be chartered. You have captains, and that's where I'm coming to, because I had to make that realization. I was like, okay, sailboat.
So it's not really, I mean, actually having your captain's license, if you own your own boat, you get cheaper insurance rates. But really, if you just take a safety course.
Who says you need insurance?
Huh? Yeah, I know, right?
That's if you get a loan, right?
Yeah, I mean.
Chartering.
Yeah, you'll want it.
You just want liability, right?
Right. So, but I mean, but really just taking a safety course. I mean, knowing the ways of the water and the safety out there, that would make you feel better.
You can learn that from somebody like you, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's better because you can't learn a lot until you do it, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, just like, rough seas make a season, captain, or whatever that saying is. Like, smooth seas doesn't make for a good captain. Like, if all you're going out there and you have smooth sailing all the time, you haven't gone through anything yet. You haven't experienced all the stuff that you got to do.
Have you been through anything?
So much can go wrong that it's like.
Man, whenever you're out there, you're everything. You're the plumber. You're the electrician. I'm
definitely not a captain.
You're diving in the water to fix this, to fix that.
Definitely bring it to Captain Josh.
I've had some experiences out there.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not, some of them not fun.
How far have you been?
The charter business we had was just really staying around the downtown Miami Beach area. So I never personally went out, over to Bahamas or anything like that.
I used to rent a boat every time. I had an office in Miami for years. Yeah. And I used to rent a boat every time right by the little place where they do the boat show. Mm-hmm. I'd rent one, just a small little boat, drive around Star Island, Fisher Island, and then through the little canals up there, and then bring it back.
Yeah. It's beautiful down there. I tell you that the Miami skyline at nighttime it's like nothing else. On a boat out there on the water when you're going like down the river through the skyline, that is like nothing else. You have to see it.
Well, how long would it take us to get from St. Pete to Miami?
It'd take a while.
Like, what do you think? Is there a canal?
To Miami is 3 hours.
If there's a cut through or not?
Is there cut throughs? Isn't there what is it called? The intercoastal.
Intercoastal.
Oh. I gotta look at that. I looked at that at one time, but I forget.
Does Google have an app for that?
Yeah. Oh man, there's all kinds of boat, like apps that you look at. You got to know which way the wind's coming, the current's going out, what how high the seas are, and all this other stuff. Like you got to. There's a bunch of little things that when I was first doing it, we took the big boat out, and she's like, I don't understand how you enjoy this, because I'm constantly looking at instruments, looking at this, looking at that.
It's like stressful,
and it can be.
It's stressful, I guess, if you don't know what you're doing, right? And then you as you're learning. I'll give you an example. It's not as stressful as flying, because when you fly, it's dead. Like in a boat, you
make a mistake.
Yeah, I've said this a number of times, but I went to go get my pilot's license, and I didn't study hard like you, but I went and did all flew and learned. And,
right.
And he's like, all right, buddy, you are ready to solo.
Yeah.
I started thinking, I was like, you're not going to be up there with me, are you? And I'm like, okay, if I don't do well on a boat test, I'm swimming. I guess, right? If I don't do well
there's life jackets,
yeah, if I solo on a boat, I might screw up the boat, I might run into the harbor, but I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Getting my pilot's license, I was like, I'm toast. I was like, the juice ain't worth the squeeze, man. That's a different animal.
I forget where I said that term. I had to use it because you said it. People looked a little weird. They're like, what?
Oh, I got a funny story for you. So I had a guy, rest in peace, Joné Dominguez, who took over my towing business, and I had just hired him, and he was a go-getter, and he also was born again, so he had been in trouble quite a few times, and he was trying to impress me a little bit, about how good he was to get any car, and he's like, hey, we got this vehicle here, it's a tractor trailer parked in our thing. I'm like, well, our machines can't get that out of there. And he's like, oh, I can get it out of there. Yeah. I'm like, what are you gonna do? He said, oh, I'll get it out of there, boss. Don't worry about that. And I'm like, yeah, go for it. And I'm like, I called him back right away. I was like, wait. I go, man, you can't put me in that position. Number one. I said, number two, whatever your plan is, if it's not legal and we shouldn't be doing it,
right?
The juice ain't worth the squeeze for a little bit of a freaking check from these guys. I said, go call someone with a rig, let's subcontract it out and pull it out of there.
Right.
But yeah, the juice, I always look at, is the juice worth the squeeze? So, okay, so St. Pete, the plan is to be in the house when?
I'd say somewhere in the next 4 months. It'll probably be done before then, but
I think you can get it done way quicker than that.
I know it will be done way before then, but it's then also the transition out of our house and the move. And
you want to know what you got to do, Alyssa? You got to sell all those tools. That's going to take the longest time.
Yeah, we might. It'll be long.
You got to get rid of all those tools that he's been stockpiling for how many years?
Oh, man.
20?
Yeah, like, when did the last time you used 30? A reverse miter saw?
There's a bunch of stuff I'm going to have to purge and get rid of.
Yeah.
But that's where I think it would work well as a couple, because you're never going to want to do it. You know what I mean? But she's going to have to be like, hey, when's the last time you used that? You're going to be like, 1984.
I did get that gene from my dad, man. My garage is so full of stuff. I'm like, I might use that one day. And then,
Here's the way I look at it.
I just really got to get rid of everything now, because I got boxes of half-used screws that, I'll just go, it's like, well, I'm not going to use a box of 8 screws when I need 20 of them. I'll just go buy the new box. And so I just need to throw all that out.
Well, a lot of times that can hold you back. Like when you don't purge your life, you're hanging on to stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I've moved enough times, so I can tell you.
I'm a purger.
Yeah, purge.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You need to get her in on that program and just be like, hey, Josh, if you haven't used this in 2 years,
Yeah.
it's got to go. And then what you do is do what I do at Home Depot. Just buy it, return it.
Yeah.
Tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I've used it. I can't do that. I'm like,
Yeah, you can actually.
you can?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're spending a bunch of money with it. It's not like you're doing it all the time, but there's
Right.
no reason. They're not asking you, why are you returning it? You can say, I don't think I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
They don't ask you if there's something wrong with it. You're not lying to them. Just be like, yeah.
It will be. I mean, I know my garage is smaller down in St. Pete, so we're going to be downsizing some.
Yeah.
So,
What I would say, do you have a trailer?
yeah.
With the tool trailer with all your stuff that fits in it?
I mean, I have an enclosed, 12-foot enclosed trailer.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Whatever don't fit in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I think all of it would fit in there.
Easy decision.
Yeah.
Take it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if it don't fit in there, and you can move in the trailer.
Yeah,
Right,
there you
I
go.
know.
If there's a
That's-
walkway, yeah.
Yeah, like if it don't fit in there and you can move.
Yeah.
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 Get
Well, also some of the stuff might be so old now that there's, he might want to get the new tool anyway
Yeah,
down there.
the new version.
The new version of stuff. So
What's the number one tool that you need to have? Like, what is your number one? You got to have it. Like they
Man, I'll
use
tell
all the
you-
time.
I'd say it's not really. The one that I guess is not really the one I use all the time, but my hammer, I've had it for 25 years. The same one, like I bought when I first started work. Well, it wasn't the first one I had, but I've had that. If I leave a job, sometimes I leave my tools on a job. I will walk over and make sure that this hammer that I've had for 25 years is in my truck before.
Is there sentimental value
I'm
there?
like, yeah, and it was a $25 hammer, and I'm leaving thousands of dollars of stuff in the house.
Did your dad give you
But
the
it-
hammer?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just something that's the one tool that I'd be upset if someone stole.
Oh, 100%.
So
that thing's like tattooed to you, right?
yeah, I mean it's a big S-wing.
Like one of those heavy hammers.
I mean it's bigger than what normally trim carpenters carry.
Yeah.
Big 20 or 22 ounce hammer with smooth head on it and everything. But what's nice about it, I was teaching my nephew this the other day. He was nailing in some stuff trying to find the studs, and either you got to measure out 16. I was like, well, I just put my hammer there, and just a little mark. He's like, what? Your hammer's 16 inches? It's like, yeah, you can just know about where the stud's at just off of that, So
Did your dad teach you all that stuff?
yeah, he taught me everything I know, and so
So what did he start with when he taught you everything? Like, where did he start with you? How old were you?
I mean, he's been in the business his whole life, framing and trim carpentry and cabinet work, everything. So I mean, I was around it my whole life.
Like he brought you to job
Oh
sites?
yeah, I'd be on the job site
But
sweeping.
when did you start?
all
When did you start working with him?
Right out of high school.
So, but you were still working with him prior to that.
Yeah. I'd
Like
go
in
out
high
on the
school.
jobs.
I mean, you weren't just like, okay, Dad,
Right,
he
yeah.
had taught you some things.
Yeah, I mean, he taught me some stuff, but
Like 14.
I mean, yeah, we worked together for 14 years or something like that before I got away from that and got a car lot.
Now, without trying to be a jerk, who do you think's a better trim carpenter, you or your dad?
Man, that's one of the cool. I think I've mentioned that before. My dad this is a cool saying because he said I'm a better carpenter than he was because I had a better teacher than he did. But he was my teacher, so he taught me everything, and then I expanded on that.
That's
Versus the person that taught him, he expanded on that, so it kind of built on. So
That's cool. So and now you're teaching Alyssa. Have you learned a lot?
I probably know more. I feel like I don't know a lot, but I probably know more than the average person.
she does.
Well, I've watched you work, and you just know what to do next. Like, you don't even have to say anything. You know what to do.
So that's one of the biggest things with Josh is learning to anticipate or learning what he needs from you because it takes time away from him doing work when he has to explain every single little next thing that you have to do. And so after so many times, you kind of have to just, anticipate what he needs or like use your own critical thinking on what needs to happen next or what he's doing next and what you can do to get it ready for him.
Right. And
that's like, honestly, that's why my dad and I work together so well. Like, we always knew what the next step was for each other. And we'd had builders say, like, me and him, a 2-man crew, they're like, I would put you all up against a 6-man crew any day of the week. Because, I mean, it was just smooth. I mean, we just operated so smoothly.
How did he teach you how to do that?
It was just over time.
But did he communicate that to you?
Yeah.
He just said, like...
He wasn't the best communicator. Probably like I'm probably not.
He taught you that, too. He passed that one on, too.
100%, yeah.
But he just was like,
Yeah.
You figure it out if you don't want to,
So now, coming from your passion of like dog food and dog treats and all these other things, now you're into the real estate business. Are you finding that same passion there, Alyssa?
Yeah, I am. It's different because it's not, just like a blind love. And I mean, obviously, dogs are amazing.
But you guys both have that love.
Yeah. But it is also just, I do love learning things and puzzles and figuring stuff out. And so for me, it's been really great to, be able to work my brain a little bit more and not just, decorating, cakes or cookies or, doing fun things like that, but actually putting my brain to use and problem solving.
Right.
Which I think has been really great for me.
Yeah. Critical thinking.
Yeah, critical thinking is really good. But then, also then it gets me excited about what he's excited about and like understanding, kind of like all the steps and all the stress and, all the different pieces he's running through his head at one time.
You're starting to be able to think the way he's thinking.
A little bit, yeah. I can understand, you know what I mean, more of, how his brain's working.
And that's got to be great to have someone to rely on that you're going to be able to go, because sometimes when you go to the job, you have to be super self-motivated, but if you guys are both there together, you have to be less self-motivated because it's like your accountability partner, like, we're going to get this shit done.
Yep.
Right? You guys came into our house and pretty overwhelming job when you got how many boxes?
Oh yeah, it was 320 boxes.
320 boxes, reading plans, like, and I knew when I asked Josh, he's like, yeah, I can do that. No, like, not even like, nah, no big deal, and like, that's the way I talk about real estate. Yeah, that's easy. You know what I mean? And so when someone's really good at something, gives you the confidence to get better at whatever they're at. So is there any skills, Alyssa, that you want to learn that you think that would be cool on your own?
Not necessarily. I haven't really thought about it right now. I'm just focusing on how to build us up together.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if that means obviously, there are skills I have to learn to do that. I mean, it benefits me as well, but the main goal is us.
There's probably not anything that he doesn't know you feel like that you can't learn, so there's no point in you learning something different because he's already can teach you whatever. Is that what you're thinking?
There is a lot, like when I first started with like the back end, even just bookkeeping or I don't know, there's a lot in the back end of real estate that he hadn't even touched on yet. And so, for the first several months, it was like, I need these things done. I don't know how to do it. You need to figure it out. And so I spent, better half of it, half of a year.
You're a quick study on that stuff too. You became our best go high level person ever. Like, so you've got like that, you can geek out pretty good behind the scenes.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things like I really enjoy doing, and it benefits him and, and then I'm able to, learn something new, which I love. And so really I was able to do that a lot in the beginning. And then I think when we moved to St. Pete, I'll kind of have another little 6 months of trying to figure everything out again. Getting my real estate license down there as well.
That's what one thing she did. She got her real estate license back in Louisville, so we were able to keep more money in house.
Nice.
Yeah. So then it'll probably take, I don't know, it might take me a month to get my license.
Yeah, you're sharp like that. I can tell.
once I get it, so once I focus in on it, so then that'll be a big thing, and then just start from scratch, ground up again, and build a whole new market.
That's awesome. I'm excited for you guys. So, I guess a couple years from now, you guys will be doing a bunch of flips in St. Pete, doing a bunch of flips in Louisville, planning on living in both areas. Maybe have a new family on the way.
Yeah.
And that'll be exciting. So it's cool to get to know you guys as friends. So you never know what's coming in the front door. You know what I mean? Like when you're starting these programs, you got people who are like, I'm gonna be the $1 million guy, you know what I mean? I remember that guy? I never saw him again. And then you have people who are just silent and they go do it. So it's cool to see you guys, build something together. And I'm looking forward to see you guys continuing to build stuff together. And I think you guys have a great thing going on. I don't say that just to try to push you one way. I'm telling, I see it visually, and I'm like, he's got a big smile on his face. And I've watched him fully transition from like the, into like, we're gonna like, as we call it, us husbands get trained, I guess is the. And so I feel like the level of I guess open-mindedness is probably the better way to describe that I've seen come him in the last year is completely different than the guy who walked in the program. And I think that's all because you stood by your man, I guess. And that's the biggest thing to say. It means a lot because it is easy to tuck and run when stuff gets not the way you want or not as fast as you want it to happen, which Josh ain't moving fast by any means. He's like in the carpool lane going 25 miles an hour. But you know what I mean? You're right there with him. Like, we'll get there, and so that's really cool. I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast. Guys, would you recommend our program to anybody else who's out there listening?
I 100% say yes. I mean, it pushed me. You can consistently push me out of my comfort zone to do things I'm not used to, and it's definitely leveled me up business wise.
Yeah.
Even on the at the airport, I was very bored of playing, and a friend called me. He's like, "Man, Josh, I just want to tell you, like, I see all the things you're doing. And I'm so proud of you, and and I was like, well, I know I wouldn't be at the level I'm at without your help. So
yeah, appreciate that, man. It's just fun to we want to build a community, and what we say, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
How many times am I asking you questions?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to learn from people around you. You know what I mean? So I want to bring good people into the program, that you can learn from. Otherwise, you have a bunch of people sucking all your energy too.
Right.
So you bring a lot back. You're the most consistent guy. So I know how regimented you are just from watching you, because you're as consistent as I am, and I'm pretty regimented. So Alyssa, you've been an awesome addition. People, all the women in the program, they're like all of a sudden, I didn't even know what's going on, but everybody's coming back. Alyssa's amazing, you know what I mean? You hear about it from everybody. I was like, I
hear that all the time.
Yeah, and so that's when I was like, all right, you're done, dude. If everybody's coming back and telling me that, and I didn't even know about all that stuff because I didn't get to know you that much until recently, and so I've seen how much of a hustler you are, how much you go out and get it done, and then so just keep after it, and you guys are gonna have whatever you wanted, which is why you joined the program, which is to get outside and work for yourself and do your own thing. And I think you should keep pushing your limits on everything.
Oh, we are for sure.
Cool, guys. All right, well, thanks for listening to this podcast. Make sure you guys give us a 5-star review and put in the comments, when do you think Josh is actually going to do the deal? I'd love to hear from the audience. All right, peace. Man, I am so happy that you turned into the Millionaire Mentorship podcast. It's something that I've been working on for over 3 years right now. We're up to 150 podcast episodes. A lot of them are virtual. A lot of them are in studio, which is what we prefer. If you have a guest that you think that should be on our podcast, all you gotta do is comment who it is, and we'll reach out to them. Or if you want to reach out to them and reach out to us, we'd love to have them on a show. We're looking for entertaining, inspirational people that, just like you hear on the podcast every week, that can bring value and help our listening audience achieve their goals. If that's something for you, comment down below and let us know.